Hey, it's the Truth Whisperer, and I'm doing some research for a video I'm doing about how the education system has been taken over by Jews that are teaching um, our children and the ministers and the people that want to be ministers in the church and all that stuff. Uh, um, Satanism. And you guys think I'm nuts when I say this. And here we go. Let's look at this shit, okay? I'm looking at divine providence, okay? I'm this is Stanford University, their encyclopedia of philosophy, okay? And they try to spin this into everything that they possibly can, okay? The authorship of sin, moral evil. They're trying to dispel God, okay? And they're trying to change what divine providence is, okay? And they're teaching kids this. This is probably why some of you think the way you do. So anyways, when I started looking at it, this is how to cite this entry and all this stuff and how they teach the teachers what they can and can't teach, okay? And then I started looking at at all this shit, gratuitous evil and divine providence, all this bullshit, faith and philosophy. What does philosophy have to do with faith? And then I come to these people. These are the people that edited and put this stuff together. And they're, I mean, when you start looking at these people and seeing what they're all about, look at this. This is what I just found. This should blow your mind. Because I told everybody to do a search for the Office of Strategic Initiatives and look at the CDC Office of Strategic Initiatives. Nobody did it. Look at this shit right here. Biomedical ethics, philosophy, and human biology. And you look at this stuff and the required test, principles of biomedical ethics. And then when you look at what biomedical ethics is, this is one of the awards this guy got. All right, the Covey Award. Yeah, they're rewarding these guys for their what they've done. To destroy your mind. Okay? Look at, and one of the terms that you find, where's the journal at? Oh, School of Medicine. Provider-patient relationship. Providers and acting for the patient's benefit. Non-malfeasance. Okay? This is how I found all this stuff, following these terms, okay? Paternalistic model. When the physician acts like your dad and makes decisions because they determine that you're not able to do that, okay? That's a wide open assumption that they're making right there. And let me show you what they're doing with it. Health and loneliness. Anyways, what should students learn about the importance of cultural brokering in immigrant communities? Go back to that Office of Strategic Initiatives in the CDC. And I asked you, what does race have to do with our health? This is it. This is the shit right here. This is the American Journal of Ethics, illuminating the art of medicine. Are you starting to get the picture yet? Of loneliness come from perceived deficits in social interaction. Loneliness first became a health concern due to its association with increased mortality and functional decline. Blah 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 blah. So this is how they justify the jab. This is all justification for to get people brainwashed into giving it. Okay, this is teaching doctors and nurses and not to have any compassion. There's no ethics, and that's how I got onto this. Was medical paternalism is a set of attitudes and practices in medicine in which a physician determines that a patient's wishes or choices should not be honored. You hear that? These practices were current through the early to mid 20th century and were characterized by a paternalistic attitude, surrogate decision making, and lack of respect for patient autonomy. And they're teaching that again in school now. Look at this shit. I mean, this is a lesson. That's a lesson right there at study.com. And this is the Journal of Ethics in the AMA. Selective Paternalism, Journal of Ethics. And you guys think I'm the dummy. Yeah. All right. Maybe this will go back to where. No. This is where I found it right here. Limits to shared decision making. Okay. Shared decision making is an active dialogue between the physician and the patient. Okay. The increasing diagnostic and therapeutic options over the last half century has created more medical decision making situations. Yet the process of medical decision making remains nebulous. Many decisions ordering routine, and this is how they justify it, ordering routine blood tests are made unilaterally by physicians, while others, elective surgical procedures, medication adherence, involve more patient choice. Okay, so, and they're eliminating, that's what they want to eliminate, is your choice to take the medication. And here's how they're teaching you to cite it. If you're a teacher, virtual mentor. Let's see what the virtual mentor. You probably have to have a. That's where you're going to cite it because that's where they're teaching it. Does medical uncertainty justify medical paternalism? Of course it does. If you are a vaccine hesitant person, they're going to go ahead and make that decision for you. Unintended consequences. Addressing the paternalism with patient rights, unintended consequences. Rights versus relationship. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, here it is, right here. The essence of the medical relationship is a communication between the patient and the physician. By communicating, the patient and the physician can determine together how to best treat the patient in accord with the patient's values and perception of his or her best medical interests, on the one hand, and the physician's professional knowledge, experience, and values on the other. The American Medical Association describes the clinical encounter as the embodiment of medical practice and notes that it has long been recognized that successful medical care requires an ongoing collaborative effort between patients and physicians. That's how it's listed under one, opinion. Okay? Yet communication may be at the root of some of the problems in medicine that are triggering the call for explicit patients' rights. What has been true for the evolution of mankind has been equally true for the progress of medicine. We have spared no effort to make better tools, but we have paid little attention to learning how to communicate better with one another. A seminal study of end-of-life care. The study to understand prognosis and preferences for outcomes and risks of treatments. Suggests a general failure of communication in the face of an entrenched practice pattern. The study documents, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, patient remained in intensive care and no decrease in pain and suffering.
I just noticed
Like,
that acronym, support, you know, life support, you know, I mean, you gotta keep a close eye on this stuff because the words are how they're, what they use to deceive people, okay? That you might think of support as, you know, supporting you, you know, when it really means study to understand prognosis and preferences for outcomes and risks of treatment. Now, anyway, so
known patients wishes for less care and better pain management. It, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, so that's what they're, here it is right here. The correction of these educational errors would do much to help change physicians' priority in patient care. Such a change in physician priorities might quiet the cries for patient rights and would reflect long-standing statements of medical values expressed in codes and ethics. Codes are not laws, y'all, and ethics definitely has nothing to do with the fucking law. This is crazy shit, y'all. I mean, this is dangerous shit. This is what's going on. They're teaching these kids to feel nothing about human life. And they're awarding these guys for doing it. The American Philosophical Association. That place needs to be exterminated. And everybody that has anything to do with it. Look at this shit. This guy right here. This is his biography. This guy right here, Edward Inzalta. He's the main editor of the Divine Providence teaching in the school. Okay, so he's into metaphysics, Platonism, naturalism. This is all bullshit. Okay, mind, matter, me, non-existent objects, and the semantics of fiction. I mean, they're trying to recreate the wheel. Biomedical ethics. That's what triggered me onto this guy when I saw that. Okay, yeah, because it's highlighted right there. 1996, he was teaching biomedical ethics. And, alright, so this is the editorial board. And if you go down this board, I looked at some of these people and documented them. I'm like, African American philosophy, okay? And look at this fucking piece of shit. This motherfucker, however, whatever that says, he is areas of specialization, ethical theory, social political philosophy, Africana philosophy, areas of competence. He's a feminist philosopher. Normative ethics. You've got to go look at what these things are because they're not what you think they are. Okay? Here's some of his articles. Vice signaling. Material insecurity, racial capitalism, and public health. Who are the engineers? Solar geoengineering and justice. From moral hazard to risk response feedback, climate risk management. Two themes in decolonizing universalism. Global ethics. That's all. That's all. Niggers wanting to get rid of the white folks right there for the Jews. The wrong of rudeness. Principles for thinking about carbon dioxide removal in just climate policy. This is what they're teaching in the colleges. The colleges need to be dismantled. Dismantled. You know, you got Trump signing anti-Semitism protection law into the schools. Y'all think he's, yeah, that's what he is. He's the Trojan horse propaganda artist right there. Donald Trump is. Y'all don't want to believe it, but you'll find out. You're going to find out. You better find out sooner than later. Round table on climate reparations. Climate reparations. Are you fucking kidding me?
I never use that.
Why the Violence Against Women Act failed women. Now look at here we go. Hold on. Why the environmental movement should think locally. Civility and social justice. The myth of trickle-down blackness.
Trickle-down blackness.
Oh, where's the area? Climate colonialism and reparations.
Blackness? Yeah. Okay, I'm not the racist. I mean, for real.
What is racial capitalism?
Please.
Oh my God, they're teaching this fucking garbage in
You
school.
gotta be fucking kidding me.
I saw one, man. It just blew my mind. It was like, why?
On civility?
There, cops climbed COVID. Why there's only one crisis?
These
Are you
people
fucking enforcing eviction?
The nation.
Well, I'd like to see what that fucking was all about. But anyway,
Holy shit! Yeah.
here it is. The coronavirus
like
failure will become our
insane.
climate failure. Yo,
These people.
y'all think I don't know how to do my research.
People are insane.
This should be a good example
These are the people that want to destroy
of how I find shit
humanity.
that you don't want to find.
The
You don't want to believe.
civilization. That's what all these people are about.
Anyways, that's just one of the guys. That's just one teacher teaching bullshit. They're teaching religion this way, okay? Look up topics and thinkers related to the century. How to cite this entry. Enhanced bibliography for this at Phil Papers. Yeah, you can only imagine what that is. Compatibilism, evil, problem of the free will, divine foreknowledge and incompatibilism, non-deterministic theories of free will. I mean, these fuckers don't know a damn thing except for what is in your Judeo-Christian Bible that you don't want to believe me about. But hopefully figure that out before it's too late too. This is what they're doing to the teachers, and they've been doing the teachers since way back. You know, I mean, that one guy showed you.
Moral evil.
He's been doing it since the 70s.
I'm going to go ahead and stop this right here, and I'm going to do a search for you right here. I'm going to go right here and do this search live.
Bibliography. Here we go.
Let's go right here and do. Let's do this right here. And go to. I'm just going to type in a real simple search. It'll get us right there. 613 commandments. There it is. 613 commandments. Oops. That was a little early, I guess. Yeah, 13 commandments. Here we go. let's go to Judaism. Um, Shabbat. Here we go. Let's go right here. Shabbat.org. Okay, there we go. All right, you can go to this website and see what the 613 commandments. Uh, you know, this people are so confused about what Judeo-Christian means. I mean, they've got the Torah, they've got the mikvah, they've got the Sanhedrin. They've got so many. Okay, they got the Maimonides, the Mishnah Torah, the full list of the mitzvah. Like I said, they will not put O in God. They, you know, not to entertain thoughts or other gods besides Him. Exodus. You think as Christians that means one thing, okay? So that's why you got to look at these meanings, their meanings, what it means to them in Deuteronomy, okay? Not to profane His name. Well, if they don't want to put O in God, who do you think His name is? Okay, the prophet. Who's the prophet? It's not Paul. Not to test the prophet unduly. I mean, not to hate fellow Jews. Okay, Leviticus. To reprove wrongdoers. Not to embarrass others. Not to impress the weak. Yeah, that doesn't include you. Okay. That means you are goyim to these people. Don't gossip. Don't take revenge. Don't bear a grudge. You got to look at all this stuff. Learn the Torah and teach it. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Learn the day of Torah and see what you've been deceived by in the book of Deuteronomy, the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible. Okay, not to follow the whims of your heart or what your eyes see, not to blaspheme, not to worship idols in the manner they are worshipped. Don't bow down, okay. Not to turn to a city to honor, not to rebuild as a city. Okay. Let's get to the not to love the missionary, not to cease hating the missionary. There you go. We're getting into it right now. Not to save the missionary, not to say anything in his defense. They're talking about anybody that promotes Jesus Christ. You got to look at this stuff. Not to refrain from incriminating him, not to prophesize in the name of idolatry, Jesus, okay? Not to listen to a false prophet. You got to learn this stuff. Not to be afraid of killing the false prophet. Not to swear in the name of an idol. Yeah, God, don't swear. Yeah, you got to learn this stuff, man. I'm telling you. Well, you still got time. Not to pass your children through the fire to Moloch. Yeah, okay. Not to erect column in public places of worship. Not to bow down on smooth stone. Not to you are to destroy idols and their accessories. Not to derive benefit from. Okay, here we go. Let's go on down. Do not make a covenant with idolaters. Not show favor to them. All right, so let's go on down. Not to engage the dead in conversation. Not to consult. All right, you got to learn this stuff. Men must not shave the hair off the sides of their. Must not shave their beards with a razor. They must not. Okay, I can get with that one. Not to tattoo the skin. Not to tear the skin. Oh, here we go. not to take make a bald spot in the morning. You know how they were talking in the Bible how they were tearing out their hair and ripping their clothing and shit. Say the Shema twice a day. You need to learn what that is. To hear the daily declaration of faith recited in the morning and evening prayers before retiring for the night. The Shema. You gotta learn what this stuff is. Yeah. The Kohanim, Tefillin. Alright, so let's come on down here. Circumcise all males on the 8th day after their birth. Yeah. Must not. The court must not inflict punishment on the Shabbat. They're not talking about you, okay? Alright, so let's not to eat Shemitz, to destroy all Shemitz on the 14th day of Nisan. Don't drive a Nissan to church. No, I'm being funny. But this stuff is really serious. And you need to learn all this stuff. Each man must give a shekel annually. Courts must calculate to determine when a month begins. To afflict and cry out before God in times of catastrophe. And they won't put the O in God. Remember that. Not to withhold food called money. Have a man must not remarry his wife after she's married someone else. The widow must not remarry until the ties with her brother-in-law are removed. Seduces the maiden. The rapist must marry the maiden if she chooses. He's not allowed to divorce her. I mean, you got to look at this stuff. This is what these people believe in, okay? Not to have sexual relations with your mother, not to have sexual relations with your father's wife, not to have sexual relations with your sister, not to have sexual relations with your father's wife's daughter from your father, with your daughter. I mean, this seems logical. Not to marry a woman and her daughter, not to marry a woman and her son's daughter. I mean, why can't you just have? I mean, that's not what this Leviticus says, okay? It may generalize that, but it doesn't go into all that stuff. I mean, why don't you just say no incest? Not to marry non-Jews, not to have sexual relation with a menstrually impure woman. I mean, not to let Moabite or Ammonite males marry the Jewish people. Don't keep their generation of Jew. I mean, man, you really, really need to look at all this stuff. Because these people don't kosher and non-kosher, not eat kosher animal, non-kosher, yeah. Okay. Never to swear falsely in God's name. Okay, he must not drink. Must not come in contact with the dead. How are you going to bury him? Must shave after bringing sacrifices upon completion of the Nazarite period. number. Okay. I mean, you really, really need to look at this stuff. Okay. An uncircumcised person must not eat. I mean, God, this is crazy. And you can say, oh, well, that's the old. No, these people still practice this, and they believe in all this firmly. Okay. Not to work. Just seventh year. Not to pressure or claim from the borrower. To release all loans during the seventh year. Yeah. Is that happening? The Sanhedrin must count 7 groups of 7 years. That's very important right there. The Central Rabbinical Supreme Court of Ancient Israel, composed of 71 sages, which emerged as an especially crucial source of leadership following the destruction of the Second Temple. Also, the fractate of the Talmud of that name. Yeah, the Sanhedrin. Yeah. You need to go look at all this stuff. If you know, care of the laws of sold family properties. Don't build the altar with stones hewn by metal. And we're only halfway through these. I mean, you really need to look at this stuff. And you thought there was only 10 commandments. I mean, there's the red heifer. Carry out the procedure of the red heifer. That's what they're waiting on right now, the pure red heifer. Look into that stuff. Not to steal money stealthily, so you can steal it any other way. You just, yeah. Well, they do that, don't they? They steal it. They don't hide it. They're stealing it right in broad daylight. Oh my God. That's enough of this. I mean, if you don't see all of that, wow. Don't not to possess interact or scale one, not to move a boundary marker to steal someone's property. That doesn't um, pertain to the goyle. I promise you. You need to read the, you know, inspiration and entertainment. Yeah, you need to learn. You know, go look at this stuff. Learning and values. They tell you, you know, how your questions and answers, how you're supposed to respond. The Jewish history. I mean, this. Wow, this is a very important place for Christians, and you need to look up and see who C.I. Schofield is. Okay, so I mean, wow, this stuff is crazy, y'all. Yeah. it's your job to know all this stuff, you know. I mean, all of this stuff is just crazy. All this stuff is just so crazy. We language in our language. There we go. I'm gonna do that one